When you drop your TROAS, whoop, you get more available traffic and your conversions go up, but then it doesn't scale. You tap out on what Google gives you. So what happens when you force scale? You just end up paying more for the same people. I guess my question would be, why would removing the conversion value allow me to drop the bid CPC and then enter into those incremental inventory? And she's like, oh, thanks for your question, John. The key thing to note, all right, everyone panic. The key thing to note is that smart bidding does not optimize for incremental impression delivery. What? It doesn't optimize for growth, like scale. So what she was saying is this is with smart bidding, conversion signals are used to predict the likelihood of conversions and probable conversion value. Then the different. So with smart bidding, we price fix based on how valuable it is, based on your goals and targets when set. That's what I saw in my Traffic World presentation. I was like, now I know what's going on. All right. You got the CPC, or you got the ROAS, clicks, and CPC. Bad day, add a low CPC, you get 30. If you then have a good day with low CPC, the next day you get a bad CPC. But then because you had lower performance, you get a good CPC again. I'm like, oh, that's when you have a TROAS goal. That's why it keeps you complacent.
But it also, because it's an auction, it's interesting because I was in the PPC subreddit yesterday. This guy goes, hang on a minute. And he lays out this argument saying, my competitor, like I've got mine at 500 and I'm getting this, and my competitor's 225, and then they give more of what should be going to me to him, and then it keeps him happy, and then they give some to me. Hang on, am I missing something here? And look, people are starting to catch on to this now.
And then what happened was this is why when I low TROAS bidding strategies put into place, I instantly win everything. Here's what's going on. There is, I'm going to use example. And this is, I figured out smart bidding. And I think, and you guys let me know your thoughts, because I think I made it. There's 100 people in a room. Google knows 10 that will buy.
Yep.
Whoever can afford to pay the most per day and the most CPC, i.e. low TROAS or high TCPA, earns the majority of those 10.
Yep.
That's why you can't scale it. That's why when you drop your CPC, all of a sudden everything, or drop your TCPA, sorry, when you drop your TROAS, whoop, you get more available traffic and your conversions go up, but then it doesn't scale. You tap out on what Google gives you. So what happens when you force scale? You just end up paying more for the same people because there's a finite people that Google knows.
That's it.
So you know what I did? The reason why I did this, I said, you know what? How do I get the other 90? That's what manual bidding did. And then how do I stop it from arbitrarily capping when I start to scale? Well, when it's based on your goals, said Ginny, that's what it's doing. So here's the other part. Watch this. Yeah, so determines when and how to bid, again, based on your goals and targets when set. Watch this. This means you may enter more or fewer auctions with different bids than you would otherwise using manual bidding. Okay, someone tell me how this is not the definition of pay-to-play price fixing. This is literally the definition of pay-to-play price fixing. Manual bidding, you said your CPC, with smart bidding, conversion signals are used to predict the likelihood of conversion or probable conversion value and then determine when and how to bid. Again, based on your goals and targets when set. Okay, so me and Glenn are both having the same keyword, the same product on the same day to the same person. He's got a TROAS of 250. I have a TROAS of 300. Who wins? Glenn. It's an automated bidding. I can't control my bid, neither can Glenn. Who chooses the bids? Google. So that's when it's goals and targets when set. Why do you think maximize conversions and maximize conversion value just blow out your CPC? It's like, well, you obviously want all of my 10. And what happens when your TROAS at 300% simply just starts arbitrarily losing impressions and clicks and conversions? Someone else is bidding more than you. No, someone else said, I'm willing to take less profit than him. And then that means you may enter more or fewer auctions with different bids than you otherwise use manual bidding. So you want more profitability, I'm sorry, I will give you 2. Remember when we put a T-ROAS of 500, how it never scales, and how all of us said, "What the? Why won't a 500% T-ROAS scale when I'm not even hitting out my bid caps and my cost caps and my search impression share is low, my click share is low? Why isn't it spending?" Because someone else is willing to pay a higher CPC to the finite audience that Google has. But when I turn off manual bidding, all of a sudden it's like my clicks just flow in. My positioning doesn't change. I get more conversions than I did before. Like, well, now here's the problem. This is not how do I get less CPC. This is how do I keep good performance locked in at scale. That's the trick. Everyone's like, oh, of course, when you just a manual bid, you're going to pay less CPC. It's like, no, that's not the point. The point is to not get a 30% more cost and 40% more CPC every damn time.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, here's the other part. I guarantee you, I've proven and I've seen that smart bidding will go after warm traffic. It will. That's what's crazy. When I turned off T-ROAS and changed to manual, my new customer acquisition, even inside Northbeam, shot up, and so did my cold traffic. So T-ROAS, how does it predict T-ROAS? And how does it predict TCPA? Have they been on your site before? It's like an RLSA built in. The problem is you pay for that even more. Remember, RLSA was like, well, I'll bid 90% down because RLSA. They said, no, you're going to bid $2 more because it's RLSA. It's the reverse. So now I get more cold traffic. How about this? Why does all of a sudden performance in app start to dwindle? And sometimes actual performance start to dwindle because you said, hey, I'm going to take the 8 warm people and I'm just going to kind of forget about them. I'm going to start new with 50 cold people. They take longer. That's why my campaign tests run 90 days, not 2 weeks.
You know what? That actually, this strategy brings RLSA back into play now because
that's right. We're rolling time back to 2016, baby.
Manual CPC, chuck an RLSA on there and do a bid adjustment on returning visitors.
Chuck an RLSA and chuck a ducky, Glenn. We're back in business, baby.
I want you to imagine in your mind's eye one of those old-fashioned auctions. But there's some variables here. The auctioneer, instead of being an impartial third party, is actually the person that makes money from anything that you bid on or buy. So that's big change number 1.